Oh, I can't remember not to slouch.
On.
Ooh, penalty.
Oh, yeah, penalty.
What's that?
Well, this, Bernie, this is what I call my magic mind. So, you know when you get those moments where you come to the end of your day and you're a little bit tired, and I don't like drinking coffee after about midday. Like, as soon as midday hits, I'm like, that's my coffee intake done for the day. But then I start to sort of, especially when I'm like editing, I drop off. I start to like fall asleep a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
You've seen that.
Yeah.
Snoozing in the corner. So I've been testing out all this Magic Mind stuff, right? And it's a replacement for like coffee.
Right, okay. It's got caffeine in it or not? Or,
no, I don't think there's any caffeine in it.
No stimulant?
No, but it's all naturally organic stuff. But when you get this in you, you are like, it's like there's no headaches. You're completely refreshed and back in the game. So I've replaced my afternoon coffee with
So do you think it's more do you think it's more mental though, things like that? Because Well, I've started doing so I do like this vitamin tablet. They used to be, I don't know if you remember, they used to get like a Lucozade tablet that people used to eat, and you basically put it into your water, and it basically was like a high energy. But I've started doing these like high volume vitamin C tablets that you stick into your water. I've done like one a day for probably like 2 months, and I've not been ill once.
But you're looking fitter. Like maybe that's it as well. You
well,
know?
I've been eating. I've lost weight.
I've been eating,
eating better, and I've been doing some exercise, so which helps, doesn't it?
Massively.
I've joined the
helps your mental health as well.
January revolution, isn't it? The gyms are like ridiculously busy now.
Yeah.
Like, and then
are you in them?
No.
I was going to say, there's no way you're in a gym. There's no way you're in a gym. I've gone on dry January. Not that I drink a lot, but I just thought I drank a bit over Christmas.
You're more of a binge drinker, though, aren't you?
Yeah, like I'll have spells where I'll just go bang, 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 and then I'll just stop.
I'm like, I can go like 3-4 weeks without drinking anything, and then I'll have like a night out and then drink. Yeah.
It's exciting times, isn't it?
Exciting time,
January is an exciting month, isn't it? Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to what I call a retro Sunday morning show. And the reason why it's a retro is because we haven't done this for a long, long time, have we?
It's got to be a good 18 months, I'd have thought.
Do you know what? I've got something really exciting to share with you.
Have you?
This is the 1400 video on the channel.
Is it? That's quite cool.
1,400 videos. This one right here.
And they've not got any better.
And we're back to where we started.
We made no progress.
We've done this massive loop to this point right here.
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
1,400. That is some go, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what is this your? So this your 4th year of YouTubing? I'm trying to think. We started the
COVID,
channel, didn't we? Was that 2021 or 2020?
Yeah, but I started the channel in 2016.
Yeah, but you didn't really produce.
No, and that was only because of the newsletter that we were doing down at Staden Heights. So that's when it all started.
Yeah.
And then that was the back end of 2016.
Are you going to stick a little overlay of that first video up?
Yeah.
It's so funny with you and your glasses.
Yeah.
I can remember it now, like without even looking at it. You and your glasses.
There's no cuts. No. It's all very natural.
Yeah.
Isn't it? But and then obviously it kind of stopped. The channel stopped because I went off and started filming with Mark.
Yeah.
And that was the end. That was kind of like the end of it. Until then, we relaunched it in, I want to say 2019.
God, was that long ago, was it?
So when was COVID? 2020? So we'd relaunched it in 2019, of which, but I think it was the back end of 2019. So I think it was 2020 was the date of when, or January 2020, when we first released our first video, of which the brainchild bit came together for the Sunday morning show. Yeah. And the Sunday morning show, the reason why we did the Sunday morning show was because it was so easy to film. Yeah. And it was just a recap.
Although, if you now showed your setup, if you literally turn the camera around and pointed it in that direction.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do.
Which you'll probably do. You'll be like...
No, what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to take this photo of everybody. Hello, everybody. I haven't even got all the lights in here, but that's going to now... Everyone can see exactly what we just...
For someone who does a little bit of editing, not to any degree or that you do or any of the top guys do, but the amount of cameras pointing at me scares me, because you've got to make that all coordinate together, and like 2 cameras is enough for me, but 3 and that's just another level. That's not easy for me. But that's probably easy for you, isn't it?
It's the art of editing, Bernie.
Yeah,
it's bringing it all together. It's like a big mush and bring it all together, and then we polish it and make it look beautiful.
As one famous YouTuber once said.
They
did. They said that you film as much as you can because you don't have to use it. You can always delete it, but make sure you've got enough footage.
The amount of stuff that we've unfortunately left on the edit floor, the amount of stuff that we've left on the edit floor of some of your comments over the years.
And thankfully you did, because I'd probably be in prison. I wouldn't have a YouTube channel, would I?
You'd have had a very different. I think your audience would have been maybe slightly different.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, I mean, this is fantastic, isn't it? 1,400 videos in, and we're back to where we kind of started, which is a Sunday morning show. Bernie came to me with this idea of creating a retro Sunday morning show. This is not the old set. This is kind of what I've pieced together with some of the stuff that I've been doing here in the office. So thought we'd just give it a go.
But we have got this.
Yeah, this one here,
back.
Tony Hammond.
This is the original, isn't it?
Yeah, this is his worktop that he put onto a tool bag.
The mugs are out.
And the mugs are out as well. So, yeah, it feels like home.
I just had a few people message me saying, why don't you speak to Dan about doing a old style? And I just thought it was a good idea, really. Like, it's nice to catch up and have a chat with people, talk rubbish as we have just done for the last 6 minutes.
And what you got to remember is that this is not scripted in any way, shape or form.
I'm pretty sure they're aware of that.
I do hope so. Anyway, the idea of the Sunday morning show is to catch up and just give a bit of an insight into what we've been doing in the week, and then lead it into the next week and the next week, and it kind of goes from there. But some exciting stuff kind of happening in the golf world, I would say.
Yeah.
The most exciting news that I've heard, even though I know this whole TGL thing is cracking on, which is Tiger Woods' league over in Florida, which is where he's running it, and I'll come on to that in a bit, but Max Homer's left Titleist and FootJoy and gone to Cobra and Puma, which is there together as well. So someone who has been, not with Cobra, because I've never contracted them, but I used their equipment in the past and had a decent relationship with one of the reps before I got into YouTube, and I used Cobra gear and I wore some of the Puma clothing. I feel that they needed a big name to. They've sort of rebranded a bit, haven't they? They've changed their setup. They're not. I wouldn't say, without being disrespectful to them, they're not at the top table of golf manufacturers, or they've sort of slipped below that. And by having a name like Max, who's is a social media wise is very good. Yeah. That is going to hopefully elevate them back onto that level and give them that kick, because some of their new gear and what they're doing, and I know the OptiFit that they're doing with the sleeve is complicated, but they're sort of almost like they're pushing the boundaries, aren't they, and trying to get back to that level, which is great to see. Always have. They always have done that, and I think
it's an underrated company, or almost like an underdog company again now. Or
you got to remember that Cobra at one stage was owned by Acushnet.
Yeah.
So Titleist, who are Acushnet have obviously Titleist and they have FootJoy under them. So they had at one stage Cobra with them, and they were never going to put the Cobra brand on the same shelf as the Titleist brand. No. So it was always a shelf below. It was always a price point
was
below.
Always low, yeah. When we used to sell it.
Absolutely, and then when they obviously sold the company off over to, I think Adidas bought them, I believe, or they bought Adidas. I can't remember exactly how it all unfolded, but anyway,
that was they were sister companies together.
Yeah, so it's always going to be really hard for a brand to then, once it's been positioned at that bracket below, to then build themselves back up. And I think you're absolutely right, is that they've needed this for so long to have somebody, and they've tried. They've had Ricky, but then, Ricky had his heyday. He's kind of coming the back end of his career a little bit now.
Is he still Cobra?
He's still Cobra.
I thought he was, he had a bit of a resurgence last year, didn't he? He started to...
He won.
Yeah, I mean, he got back. But I guess he's lost that... Without being disrespectful, like he was... top 10 player. He's not now, is he? He was almost one of them. They were talking about he's going to be the next superstar in golf.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was what they were classing as the best player never to win a major at one stage, weren't they? Which is
always a harsh tag, but one that, I mean, he was such a great player, and you felt like he was going to be, world number one, world number two, pushing that next generation. It just didn't quite happen for him for numerous reasons, did it?
No, but what he has done over the years is he's really helped Cobra and Puma really drive forward, because he's got into the younger crew. You know, remember all the juniors at Torquay that would turn up in their orange hats and orange tops and things like that. You know, it was all about Ricky.
It was a massive shift, really, wasn't it? When you think of, you know, it wasn't at the levels of Tiger Woods with Nike and wearing the red, but it was a shift, wasn't it? Everyone was I mean, orange is a pretty grim colour anyway. Yeah. And everyone, I must remember all the lads still turn up in all orange, weren't they?
I know. But I think they've lent on him so much, and they've done well with him. They've done really well with him, and then they've tried. You know, certainly on the European tour, they have Beefy Johnson, who's come back, and I think you're going to see him. Hopefully, once he gets through his injury stuff, I think you're going to start to see him progress forward. But you know, Max Homer was a Titleist FootJoy boy through and through. You know,
I'm surprised they've let him go.
Yeah,
or let his contract run down, or however it's come about.
I think he's had a reshuffle completely. I don't think, because I think remember Mark Blackburn? Did you meet him at the Open? Yeah. So Mark Blackburn, PJ Tour coach. You know, he's Titleist FootJoy through and through. Really nice guy, but he coached Max, and I think I got a funny feeling that they've parted ways, as in Max has gone and looked for another coach. And done some other stuff. So I think maybe Max has just got to a point in his career where he's just, you know, maybe he hasn't kicked on like he thought he might. He's had some great innings and he's won some events, and he went down to South Africa last year and won down there for the Nedbank, I think.
Do you think sometimes as well,
maybe a little shift?
It's good to be the main man in a company rather than one of numerous faces, or to be on that. I mean, he's now positioned himself as number one, isn't he? He's the main Cobra guy. Yeah. So that's got to be a bigger boost for him.
Couldn't agree more with you, because you've got to think about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, if you watch the Michael Jordan film,
did you just seen it? It's funny you should link that in, but I actually watched that and did loads of research on Michael Jordan, because I love all the Nike stuff, all the Jordan stuff. And literally his story and how Nike with the trainers in the basketball, how they got into it. I mean, and I watched that film. It's the first time I saw it over Christmas. It's funny we've not talked about that, it's an unbelievable story.
It's a fantastic story.
Like, if you haven't seen that, you need to go and watch it, because it's like the marketing was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Well, they put all their eggs in one basket with him, and they had to convince him to be that person for them.
Everybody was wearing Converse.
Yeah. Well, that's what he wanted. He wanted a Converse or an Adidas contract. Really, is what he was looking for.
I mean, the biggest mistake, not mistakes, and turned out to be the biggest thing, the best thing they ever did, Nike. But you weren't allowed to wear non-white basketball boots to play in. So you had to wear white. That was part of the rules. So. But Nike worked out, they made a red pair, and then he was getting fined, and the fine, I think, was $5,000 per every time he wore them. It was in breach of the contract. But it was because he was it made it such a maverick and such like a renegade that it just went crazy, and the £5,000 was nothing to Nike, the way that they were selling trainers, and they had it was unbelievable.
Which always surprises me about like Rory McIlroy. Probably more Rory McIlroy, because he, you know, with anybody that signs with Nike, the facts are that whenever you think of Nike Golf, you think of Tiger. Yeah. You know, and I know Tiger's moved on and done his own thing now, but you're always in his shadow. You're always in his shadow. And I looked at Rory and thought, why put yourself in that shadow? Yeah. You know, you're your own. You could branch out into your own brand or whatever, whoever he would be with, and because he was with Oakley for a while, he was wearing Oakley clothing. Nobody else was wearing Oakley clothing.
He was wearing baggy shirts, wasn't it? It was that.
Yeah, he was kind of coming through, but he was in with Oakley, and I just thought, actually, that's you know, I know maybe Oakley wasn't going to pay him the money that probably Nike were going to pay him, but I just thought, why be in the shadow? And Max Homer is a prime example. Look at Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth is, you know, for many years, he's continues to be the poster boy for Under Armour. You know? And what's great about that is that he is their man. You know, they focus on him, they brand him, they do everything with him, and he helps bring that company forward, and has done for a number of years now, hasn't he? Without
I guess as a golfer, you want to be, if you name a golfer, you want to know what brand they're with or which companies they're with. Like if you probably, even if you said to people now, the casual person, like if you ask my mum or your mum and went, who's a Nike athlete, she'd probably go Tiger Woods.
Yeah, or
even
Michael
though,
Jordan.
Michael Jordan. They would literally name who it is, even though that Tiger's not been with Nike for, 4 or 5 years, maybe longer. So it's getting that, you almost want them married together. And him going to Cobra, that could potentially, Cobra on the way up, if he suddenly starts, pushing towards the world #1 area, which he's capable of with his 100%. Level of ability, that 100%. Could elevate both himself as a brand and Cobra as a brand.
Couldn't agree more.
It's exciting. That's another exciting move, isn't it?
Yeah, I completely
agree. What about, talking about, I know we've not planned any of this, but what about one of the YouTubers buying into a golf make or a company, isn't he?
Grant Horvat?
Yeah.
So what's more interesting is he's actually now had the opportunity to do a video with Tiger Woods, which Tiger's not really been anyone that's kind of come forward to go onto YouTube. And I know that the whole thing came around from the launch of the new QI35 drivers, or range, should we say. And TaylorMade, obviously, a big sponsor of Tiger, and they're a big sponsor of Grant, so that's how that connection's come through. And you look at the video, and it's all about the fairway woods, and it's all about the driver. So, but I think it's great that he's actually kind of come out and done something on YouTube, which I think is good. But obviously Grant has now gone on because he owns the clothing company that he wears. Yeah. Okay. Primo or something like that. And now I think he's become like a shareholder or something within Tacoma Golf, which is good. Which is really
making
good.
Moves in the golf industry.
And he's just coming up now to 1 million subscribers.
Which is great.
Which is fantastic. I mean, if those of you who don't know, he is a YouTuber. He was with the Good Brigade, and then kind of went out on his own.
Good player as well, wasn't he?
I believe so. I'll be honest, I've
not seen much of it. No, I don't follow them as much now than I used to. I used to watch a lot of good stuff, particularly when we were doing vlogs, because that was sort of our main,
competitor.
Not necessarily competitor, but they were pushing boundaries, and it was always nice to compare. You should always compare yourself, even if you don't reach those heights, compare yourself to the best and see how you can ultimately improve. And I always just looked at their stuff and be like, oh, that's really good what they do there. Like, what we do well, what they do well, and that. So I don't watch as much since they've all sort of gone their separate ways. But
I never seen any good stuff at all recently, so I don't know what's going on. The TGL, am I calling that right? Is it the TGL?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is the TGL. That's just been launched. I'm actually heading out to the PGA show. I'm going out to Florida in a week. So what we filmed, this is going to go out on Sunday. I fly next Saturday. Okay. I'm going out for the PGA. I'm only going for Saturday to Thursday. Yeah. So it's a quick in and out.
It's in Florida, isn't it?
It's in Florida. Yeah. But 2.5 hours further down is where they host this event. Yeah. And it's on the Tuesday when I'm there.
Can you? Any chance you've been able to go there, or?
I don't know.
No.
There's tickets available, and I could go and see it. And I just thought to myself, is it?
You wouldn't be allowed to film it, would you?
No, probably not. But it would just be the experience of it, and then to be able to share that experience with the audience 100%. A little bit. And
if you got the opportunity, I would definitely take it.
Yeah, it's 2.5. It's about 3 hours, probably 2 hours 45 to drive down from Orlando down to West Palm area is where it's at. So I don't know. Did you see any of it?
I saw a few bits of it. Again, I hope it takes off, and the more avenues and the more diversity you get in golf, the more it's going to attract different people to it, which is great. Like we've said about Live, and that's a different way of golf to what the traditional standard 4 rounds 72-hole PGA Tour events, and it's good to see different varieties of the game we all love, but certain things work and certain things don't. Like PGA tried to create that Live experience with that hole, didn't they? And they've literally got rid of that now, so that's gone. So whether this continues or whether it's just let's see whether it works, give it a go, and it might not. I hope it does, but I'm not.
I suppose what it will come down to is viewings.
Yeah, of course it will.
And how well it does on TV with viewings. And my feeling after just watching a snippet of it really was, what I love and I love this about YouTube as in that side of it, is that you get to get into these golfers. You get to get a bit more of a behind the scenes kind of a bit, you know, when you never hear them chatting or bantering with each other on the golf course. So having opportunities to be able to just see the human side of them.
And it's hard to make, it's hard for golf because golf's played on such a massive area. Like we go and watch the Open, you probably watch tournaments, the people that are watching at home have watched tournaments, and you might see a dozen shots. You might go like the Open, I wanted to see Woods. And I've tried to follow him around for like 9 holes. I physically saw him hit about 4 shots because of the amount of depth of people, and you were running around. And whereas that's in an arena where it's right in front of you, and you know, to be able to get golf into an arena and make it watchable, it's definitely a start. Whether it might have to be modified a little bit, I don't know. And whether it's got longevity, only time will tell, isn't it? But it's good to see.
Sorry to interrupt this video. I hope you're enjoying the content that Bernie and I are bringing you here today. And if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, I'm going to be releasing the DHG Society, Dan Hendriksen Golf Society, offering you some of the best prices possible to play the golf courses that we've played here on the channel, and that information is going to be coming out very soon. However, to kick that off, we are running an overseas trip. We're going over to France in September. We're going to go to the Omaha Beach area, play some golf, but also visit the D-Day landings area, which is actually pretty close to my heart. So if you want to join me on that trip, a link down in the description will take you for the information, and hopefully you can join us. But let's get back to the video. So 2025.
Yeah.
What does 2025 look like for Bernie? What's your sort of? I know you've put out some. I know you put out a video recently just to give people an insight into what you're going to be up to. But I mean, like, what do you feel that you've learned coming into now? Like, what do you feel like you've learned?
This is not a counselling session, is it?
No. I don't have a couch here. If we do that.
Crikey.
But have you enjoyed it? Have you, what have you learned from it, and where do you take it?
That's a lot. That's a
think about
that's a good question. No.
The first part, which is like the lead up to this, I suppose.
Okay, so I enjoy the lifestyle that YouTube and golf creates. I've always said that when I worked for you, the opportunities we have received have been like life changing, and the stuff I've experienced I would never have experienced in my world. Like and I'm really grateful for all those opportunities. And I wanted to have my own platform, do a little bit of my own content. I didn't know if I'd better do it. So last year was more or less my first year, and it was trying things out, see if I could do it, see how much I could produce, whether people would even watch my stuff. And my motivation for that was people said I couldn't do it. And I saw a few comments on different videos. I'm not one that really bothers with what people think about me, never have. But you can use it as motivation. I tried to use that.
People said you couldn't do it because of why?
It's hard. Do I want to give people publicity or not? It's the trick.
No, you don't have to mention names.
But but there was a couple of other YouTube channels, small channels, that when I started my channel, basically there was a couple of comments on the video saying that I wouldn't better do it. I'm not capable of doing it. Also, that I wouldn't stick to it. So I use that as a bit of motivation. But for me, 2024 was about trying to learn what works, whether people would want to watch any of my content, and whether I could, whether I'd enjoy it. And I did. 2025, I want to try and push my channel on more. I want to try and get more videos out. So I'm doing maybe one video every 5 or 6 days. So 2 a week at best, 1 a week normally, to try and push more content out. I want to come back and do more content with you. So I want to appear on your channel, any opportunities that you have, or if you say, do you fancy doing this trip rather than last year, not trying to separate myself, but trying to make my own path a little bit, but trying to get more involved and get out and about more, I guess, and just push the content on and see where I am in 12 months' time, I guess.
Because it's not actually a bad thing because I was looking at like collaborations, and I'm like, oh, well, how does that work? Because I need to get videos for what I'm doing. And if I just go and do a collaboration, but actually, by you spending more time on, not just my channel, but like on other channels and whatnot, or platforms, like those those people that watch over there, they're going to see you more. And as long as there's a plug in some way, shape or form to say this is who you are and this is what you do and this is what you've got going on, then it's not a bad thing. I kind of need to look at it myself and not look at every trip that I go on as a you know, it's a bit like when I go to Florida, you know, I will create a Sunday morning show of some sort and just give a bit of a behind the scenes of what's going on. But, you know, I'm out there with Alex Etchers, and well, Alex is going to be there, and like James Robinson's going to be out there, and there's a few others that are going. And I don't know how the week is going to unfold. I've got lots of things booked in to see people, but there's maybe 1 or 2 days where I might be able to get out onto the golf course with them. And I said to Al yesterday, I was like, look, if you just want me to be, you know, I don't need to film anything for me personally, but if I can be out there and help you guys and create some stuff with you guys, let's just do it.
Yeah.
And that's going to have an opportunity to bounce over to me from them or whatnot. So I don't think that's a bad thing. Harold.
Oh, here he is.
Have you brought me some wine?
I know, that is...
For me?
You would
No.
love that.
Well, I think that's very kind of you.
Have you actually? No. What is it?
No, is it a Magnum one or something?
Massive.
Champagne.
Oh, it's one of the big ones, yeah.
Oh, nice.
I drank one of those for
on your own
Christmas Day. That's why I'm on dry January.
Have you got any exciting plans for 2025?
Absolutely nothing.
No.
Absolutely no. I feel like I should have a plan. I should have a plan, but
no, sometimes things just fall into place, don't they? Because you can plan stuff, and if you don't, that's the hardest thing I think in life is a thing. If you plan where you want to be, and I want to be here by then, you almost see if you don't make it as a bit of a failure. Whereas if you've got no expectation, you're like, I'm just going to work hard, but go with the flow.
I say I don't have any plans. I do. I know what I want to film. I know the things that I haven't got everything. I'm a bit disappointed in it because I've come into 2025 and I haven't got everything set up as to how I want it with the companies that I'm going to be working with for 2025, which is frustrating because 2025 has already kicked on and your plans should have already been done. I think the build up to Christmas for me was all about foremost and getting those videos done, and the Portugal trip that I went on, which was fantastic. And you know, we've got 21.
It's a busy time for you at the moment.
It's a really busy time, and my
How many videos are you producing for foremost at the moment?
Well,
it's a lot, isn't it?
25, but we did 21 of the videos filmed in that week, which is I didn't expect to get that far with it.
No.
So, but now is obviously all about the editing and getting them out the door, because every day. Right now, every day,
you've got deadlines, haven't you?
One has to be produced, and on some days, 2 of those videos have to be created and put out there. So this is a busy time, and I almost look at January and go, I just don't want to deal with January because it's so busy in the commercial space that I don't know how to put my mind into the YouTube space. So. And the weather's just so bad.
It just hasn't stopped raining.
Just you wake up and you look out the window and you're like, I don't want to do that. I'm not going out there. I'm not getting involved in that. So, yeah, I don't. I'll be honest. My plan is to do 3 videos a week.
Yeah.
My plan is to get 1 out on a Tuesday, 1 out on a Thursday, and then the Sunday morning show. And we're going to bump along with that. I'm going to see what other opportunities are out there from a commercial point of view.
Yeah.
And
take it from there.
Yeah, and that's where we're at. But Jordan right now is a very busy boy.
Yeah.
Very busy. He doesn't seem very stressed.
He doesn't seem very stressed.
No.
No.
I'm more stressed than he is.
Okay.
But I suppose that's
he
the
lives
way
his life like that, doesn't he?
I suppose that's the way it should be.
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Absolutely. 100%.
Or not.
We're getting there.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know whether I should show it here now. Should I show it?
I have no idea what you're talking about. So.
I'll tell you what has gone really well leading up to Christmas.
Oh, the merch, yeah, it's nice. I like the logo's good. Those hats are decent.
Snazzy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Ooh, just caught the microphone there. But yeah, they're snazzy.
I like the
coffee mugs. The coffee mugs have gone again. Sold out again, like the tumblers. They've sold out, so I've got to look at replenishing those.
Don't bother doing these.
Can't do these because they just
break. Yeah.
But they are great. But merch has gone really well. So if you haven't checked out the merch shop, make sure you do. Loads of Sunday morning show stuff in there as well. So that's been good. But I just want to show you, and I'll show the audience, because I don't even know if this has gone out of embargo yet. We'll see.
So we could be in trouble.
Could be in trouble. I just want to introduce. I don't know if you've seen this yet.
I just caught a glimpse of what you just about to show me, but I did actually see the wedges because they're...
Oh, we're there. The wedges are...
they're not out yet, no.
They're over there. Look.
Yeah, I literally went over there when you were talking a minute ago before we started this, and I looked at the wedges, and they are pretty impressive looking.
I think if you were to walk into my office in the beginning of December, first couple of weeks in December, and if you saw the stuff that I've been sent, and obviously I have to send it back, but you'd have had a glimpse. You'd have had a glimpse of the whole of you'd have seen into the future because you'd have seen the whole of 2025 in front of you in Dan's office. But anyway, these ones, right? So I get lots of questions all the time, and I know even from close friends and pros and things like that saying, Dan, what's hot for 2025? What is it? What's the standout product? And don't get me wrong, there's lots of drivers that I've hit that have been good. Nothing game-changing. Nothing that's gone, oh my God, I'm hitting it 20 yards further. And, not being funny, but you and I certainly since the 1996 should be hitting it 400 plus yards because every year there should be 10 yard game, right? 8 to 10. They're moving it to 8 now, but there's always 10. Anyway,
I'll accept 8. Yeah.
And if I'm honest, AI is what's hot.
Yeah.
So AI, we saw the release of AI, artificial intelligence, using that to create these faces, golf club faces, to help with off-centered strikes. That's always been what AI has kind of really been about. Now we're starting to see, because AI is all about input. The more input you put into it, the more it has, the more it can work out what's best. And that's the topic I think that's going to be different for 2025, is the fact that these faces on drivers, especially moving into fairways, they're just more forgiving. That's all it is. What my concern is that they're moving into faces for specific players, for specific heads. Too much, which means
too specialised.
Which means that if you're somebody that might go into the standard head, let's say, and you're a high toe striker, well, the AI has not figured you out.
No.
That driver head is designed for those players that strike it a little bit lower and more in the heel, maybe.
Okay.
As a hot spot.
Yeah.
So that means that driver might not perform as well for you out in that high toe.
Yeah.
So that's what I think we've got to be careful of, which I'm not saying I've seen it in all the ranges, but I've certainly seen it in some of them going, what's that shot?
Yeah.
Where's that come from? Don't see that flight. So anyway, so there's nothing hot except for this.
Okay.
This is it. Just
are we allowed to show everybody?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
Now, this is the Mizuno Pro Iron, okay?
Oh, do you know what it reminds me of? One of the original, looking down at then.
Yeah.
Almost
TPs?
Like the original TPs, yeah. Like very similar.
So basically, when I was in Portugal, I kept taking these with me because I just kept hitting them on the range when I was warming up and in between videos and things like that, because they are, if I was going to design a golf club, this is how it would look. So Mizuno irons historically have always been a little bit more rounded in their approach. These are very square and boxy.
It's not rounded at all, is it?
They're very old school kind of TP type of thing, where the MP kind of moved into more of a rounded. This is what I would build. It looks like a blade from the top.
Yeah,
it's very little offset and very thin top line, but it's tiny and it's got a little bit of help in the back. So,
do you know the one thing I would change on clubs, and it's not just this one.
Yeah.
So this top line here.
Yeah.
Where you go from the face into the actual sort of mould or the back bit of it.
Yeah.
Why is that not? I want to see that shiny. I don't want to see it that dull finish with the face. Like for me, that's got to be completely like a silver brushed finish rather than a brushed finish.
Yeah.
See what I mean? I'd like to see that as a silver line.
Yeah, I get it. I see what you're saying. I think what they're trying to do is trying to get that roll effect. Yeah. And I think if they break it along the top there, maybe you'd lose that effect, and it would be you'd most certainly see the top line. I think they're trying to disguise the top line as much as they can.
Yeah.
But this club is
that's lovely.
A thing of beauty, and very traditional. So it's not going to be for your masses. It's going to be for your very small amount of players out there. And Mizuno know that.
Yeah.
You know, they've created this club for. It's called Nest 3, by the way. Hopefully embargoes are lifted. I'm going to have to call Mizuno straight after this to find out what's going on. But anyway, so if you are seeing this, it's lifted. If you're not seeing this, we've cut it out. So that's the only thing that's really the hot topic for me in 2025.
Do you think that iron's going to go well? Do you think you're going to see that iron in
tour bags?
Yeah, non-contracted tour bags, and even maybe slipping into a few people who are contracted to big manufacturers of putting that in there?
I think so.
And maybe hiding the Mizuno logo or doing something with it. Maybe
I think there'd be a little bit of lead tape on the back there. We'd get rid of that Mizuno logo there. Maybe. I just think it's stunning. Absolutely stunning. They don't go very far.
No, do they not?
Well, because they're so traditional in their lofts.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh no, dropped another club.
They
are absolutely gorgeous. Stunning.
So have you caught up with any of our mates over Christmas, or heard from anybody that's been on the channel?
So Joe the Pro, it's been very busy this time of year for him as well with Golf Monthly. He's been doing lots of his review videos for
really
drivers.
Good videos as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Bernie.
And edited well.
Because I've done them with him.
You jumped in there before I was going to say, God, the editing of them is superb.
Phenomenal. So I've been helping Joe.
Yeah.
We did some series of videos for him just before Christmas, and then during Christmas I managed to get them all together and out for him on these deadlines, so that was good. Hot news from Gilly. He's put it out publicly on Facebook. He's actually moving on. I won't go into any details on it because he's...
that could be an opportunity to video anyway.
Where
he's gone and stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk with him. But anyway, I've just literally got off the phone with him today, and he's in a very happy place. Like, he's very happy to be... He's moving on from Newquay Golf Club. The future looks bright for him. I'm happy for him. You know, at the end of the day, he's been there 12 years.
It's a good
sometimes
stint, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good stint, and sometimes it's good to make a change.
I think as well, everybody, in all walks of life, in all jobs, you have a shelf life, don't you? Where
I think,
and you sometimes you know it's knowing when to make that
hop,
make that break, and it can be scary, can't it? It's a big change. The security of being a club professional at a golf club, and then doing something a little bit more independent. But I think it's a good decision, and for everybody that I know that have made the similar hop but staying in the golf industry have been, I mean, you're happy with your decision when you did it, so if you don't take, there's always going to be opportunities for him to be a club pro if that's what he wants. If he sees it, comes out of the golf being a club pro for however long he is, I think I want to get back in there. He is such a likeable person, good at that particular job, that there'll always be opportunities for someone with his personality to get back in at a golf club. So
completely.
I think it's a no-brainer for me.
James Ruth, he is actually, during this week, he's going up to see Joe the Pro to sort his golf equipment out. Yeah. I've done a little what's in the bag, and I don't know whether to put it out because he's changing his equipment so much. So, but he's not happy with what he's had in his bag. So he's going up to see Joe, and he's going to try and sort out his equipment. I know he's been playing some great golf. He's obviously looking forward to 2025 as well for his season. And my brother, who we saw on the Christmas special down at Perranporth, which was a delight, by the way. Maybe we'll just cap on that in a minute. But my brother, he's had some work done on his back. I don't know if the results that he's come out of he went for an MRI scan and an X-ray, I think, or whatever, not showing a lot.
No.
So, which kind of indicates that he's not necessarily, not a lot of the damage that's been done to his back, because he's not played for 3 or 4 months. No,
he's not. I've messaged him a couple of times to play in sort of Alliance and stuff, and he's like, I'm not playing at the moment, I'll let you know when I am. And he did message me a couple of days ago to play in the Alliance at Saunton, but I'd already said I'd play with Josh, so I was a bit gutted actually.
Well, there'll be a chance.
Hopefully I'll get a game in with an Alliance before the end of the season.
But he's just going to crack on with his back, and hopefully it will start to ease itself. He's going to continue with his bit of treatment that he's having on it.
As mad as it sounds, sometimes as long as now he knows that he's got that confirmation that he's not going to do any more damage. That playing might actually help loosen it up and might help.
Fingers crossed.
I found running has helped my feet. I'm not getting as much pain because I'm using those bones and muscles and everything in there and getting the blood flowing to those particular areas. It seems to have been better. So
well, hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be good for him from that. So that's a bit of a catch up on what everybody's kind of up to. Really, I don't know if I missed anybody, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Well, Bernie, this has been a delight. The 1,400th video on the channel.
Let's not leave it to 2,800.
2,000, let's not double that. But this has been a delight. I'd
have bought you a cake if I'd have known.
Yeah, well, I didn't really know.
How did you just literally randomly found out?
I just went on TubeBuddy last night and it said how many videos I'd done because it tells you all the things. And it said you've got one more upload to get to 1,400 videos. Which
that's impressive, isn't it?
It's a nice little milestone, isn't it? So well done us, and well done everybody for sticking with us for 1,400
You all deserve a knighthood.
Absolutely, 100%.
In the King's New Year's Honours list.
Yeah. The only thing I can provide is a shop for you to go and pick up some merch. That's all I've got.
Which you've got to pay for.
Exactly right. Right, don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and check out obviously Bernie's channel as well. And we'll see you again soon. And Happy New Year to you all.
Happy New Year.